Hi, everybody. Welcome to this class where we're going to be talking about how there is a connection between our gut health, hormones, and products. So it's might be a surprising connection if you haven't heard about this yet. And if you have, then we're going to dive in a little bit more today to see how we can help ourselves, help our families, and help others to improve their gut health and their hormones through the products that we're buying for our home and our personal care. So just a little bit about me. In case you haven't met me before, I'm Melanie. I am a brand partner with Young Living, but I'm also a gut health coach and I am also a licensed nurse. I am very passionate about gut health because it is something that has severely impacted my life in the last years. It started with skin issues and acne and eczema and not being able to eat certain foods, and then it just went full blown and really affected my life. I was able to get better, and now that's why I help others as well do the same. And through this whole journey of mine in improving my gut health and therefore improving my overall health, because I really do believe that gut health is connected to everything, I actually started off this journey, funny enough, through products. So, and switching out my products. But before we get to the connection of our products with gut and hormone health, I wanted to start off with the basics. So just in case this is your first class with me, just in case this is the first time you're hearing about gut health, or you don't really understand the concept 100% or what hormones are when we're referring to hormones, we're just going to do a very simple explanation of what each of these are. So that way we can better understand what we're talking about when we're saying, how these are connected to the products that we're using. So starting off, let's talk about what is gut health. So the gut microbiome, our gut, when we talk about gut health, we're talking about a family or a community of mostly bacteria, but also some fungus, some fungi, some parasites, all these little microorganisms that live inside our intestines. So when you hear gut health, they're actually referring to the health of this community of good bacteria and parasites and all of these little microorganisms that live in this part of our large intestines that have a huge impact on our health, because not only are they the ones that are actually absorbing the nutrients from your food and are actually what is digesting your food. So when you're eating your food, what's actually going to be taking up the nutrients and helping you digest it and your body absorb it are these little bugs. They also synthesize nutrients, and they also have a huge impact on our health of our brain. So the way our brain can function, our digestion, our metabolism, our hormone function, which we're going to talk about next. They can influence how you feel physically, mentally, and emotionally. They can dictate what your cravings are. They can dictate if you're going to have like autoimmune diseases. They have a huge impact on literally everything. Now, that's what we're talking about when we talk about gut health. We're talking about the health of these little bacteria and these little microorganisms that are living in our intestines. Now, speaking of the microbiome, we not only have these community of bacteria and microorganisms in our intestines, like we just saw on the slide before, but we also have a community of microorganisms in our mouth, on our skin, and as women in our vagina. So any place that has like mucous membranes, we also have this community of microorganisms that are living and that are creating a balance for us. So that way our skin looks great, our digestion works well, our teeth are healthy, our mouth has, everything that it needs to work well and digest well, have healthy teeth, and as well as our urinary tract and our reproductive health. They are in all of these different places, and they are family. So they talk together. The microbiome on your skin, if there's something off on your skin, they're going to let the microbes in your intestines know that there's something off on there, which is going to affect the ones in your intestines, and vice versa. Same with the ones that are in your mouth and the ones that are in your vagina. So they really are all connected. And therefore, that's why there is such a big need in making sure that the products that we're using, or the things that we are using in these areas, like whether that be on our skin or intimate care or what we're eating, or what we're absorbing, all of these things we have to make sure they're not gonna disturb this delicate balance of these good bacteria, which help us fight off the bad bacteria in all of these different places of our body. So that's the gut. And that's what we're talking about when we're talking about the microbiome. And so today, we're not only talking about the microbes in our gut, but we're also going to be talking about the microbes in our mouth and everywhere else, because they all are impacted by the products that we use. Now, the hormone side of things. What are hormones? We hear about hormones. We hear hormones. We think women, we have hormones. We know that. We know that they can make us miserable. But what exactly are hormones? So hormones are actually just these little chemical messengers in our body. They're used everywhere in our body, and they're carried in our blood. And they're basically, I have this little picture here. I like to say they're very bossy, because they basically tell our organs what to do. So they not only regulate our reproductive function, which is what we first think about when we think of hormones, but they also affect our mood, our energy, our weight, stress, sleep, so much more. Hormones tell our body everything it needs to know what to do and how to function and when to function. So there's a little bit of a overview on each of these systems. Now that we know that, what do products have to do with my gut and my hormone health? You might be asking yourself that. These are systems that are maybe inside our bodies that we think, what does that have to do with my makeup or with my cleaning detergent or my toothpaste? The truth is that there is a lot to do with these. And the reason why is because our body is created to be in balance. When our body is in balance, whether that be our hormones are balanced, our gut is balanced, or the microbiomes and the other part of our body are balanced, all of our body is all connected, and we really need it all to be balanced in order to be able to have optimal health, whether that be having clear skin, whether that be not being in pain, whether that be having healthy bowel movements, whatever that may be. For good health, our body needs to be in this balance. And therefore, we need to make sure that anything that we're adding to our bodies or putting onto our bodies or ingesting is not going to disrupt the balance of these. Not only for the happiness of our superficial things like having clear skin, but also things that are very crucial internally, like avoiding infections in our mouth, in our skin, in our reproductive system, in our intestines. So it's really key to have this balance. Now, what are some ingredients in our products, whether that be household products or personal care products, that can disrupt this balance? Well, let's start off with this one. Triclosan. Okay, before we start off with the different things, I'm just going to warn you guys, there's some weird names, but it's not so important for you to know how to pronounce them or, get too caught up on that. It's really just having an idea of, okay, there's these ingredients that exist that are harmful that I need to watch out for, and that's it. So don't get too caught up in that. But basically, when we talk about triclosan, it's an ingredient that's used for antifungal and antibacterial reasons. Now you think, well, this is great. I don't want to get infections. I don't want to get fungal infections. I don't want to get bacterial infections. And that is actually why it's used, because they want to avoid people to get infections. The problem with that is that this ingredient is so strong that it not only kills the bad bacteria or the bad fungi, it also kills the good bacteria. And it's known, it's proven, they've seen this in people when they use products that contain this ingredient. It decimates the good bacteria in their gut. And the problem is, not only is this ingredient found in cleaning products, but it's also even found in certain toothpastes. So when we think of toothpaste, we kind of think like, well, we do want a really clean mouth. We don't want any kind of harmful bacteria in our mouth that could give us an infection. But the problem is, like I mentioned in the slide before, is that we have a microbiome in our mouth. There is a delicate balance of good and bad bacteria in our mouth, and we need those good bacteria to keep that healthy balance. If we use something that kills off all of these bacteria, it is harder for our bodies to fight this kind of invasion of, when something bad comes in. When something that alerts our immune system, it's going to be harder for our body to fight it if it doesn't have the good bacteria it needs in order to do that. And you might think, well, is it really that big of a deal? The studies that have been done on the oral microbiome, so on this community of good and bad bacteria in our mouth, have found links to things, not only to like intestinal imbalances, so like irritable bowel diseases, but also even things that have to do like with mental health, like Alzheimer's, or heart health, like hardening of the arteries, diabetes, even PCOS. They found a specific bacteria in the mouth that overgrows when somebody has PCOS that is not overgrown in normal people. So it really is super important to have this balance in our oral microbiome, and not only our oral microbiome, but a lot of times the stuff when we're brushing our teeth, that also goes inside, which also goes through our digestive system and into our body. So we know that has an effect on the other microbiomes as well. So this is one of the ingredients that we want to have on our radar to make sure not to include in our personal care products. And the awesome thing is that you can find personal care products that are going to clean, that are going to get rid of the bacteria that you don't want, the bad microorganisms that we don't want, but that don't have this ingredient that is so harmful. And we'll talk about those towards the end. So again, we want to look at these personal care products, at these household products, because our body is all connected, and what can affect one part of our microbiome affects all of our other microbiomes, our hormones, and everything else. Now, another ingredient that we want to watch out for is fragrance. Now, fragrance is just a term that companies use to denote the smell of the product, like what they used, the ingredients that they used to create the specific smell. And this is great because we want our products to smell good. Like, we definitely don't want to be putting a cream on our face that smells bad. Or a perfume that's going to make it smell worse than what we want. But the problem with this fragrance, this term fragrance, is that companies are not required to explain what they're using to create this smell, this fragrance. And unfortunately, in the world that we live in, companies don't have our best interest at heart. And so they've found in products that are labeled just under fragrance, like all the other ingredients look fine, but then they put fragrance, and they found in these products that they have ingredients that disrupt hormone balance, that are known to cause cancer, that are not good for our bodies. But because there is no regulation under the idea of that, nobody wants to give away what makes their product smell different and smell special and be like iconic for their brand, then they don't require companies to put what they have. And unfortunately, a lot of the bigger companies take advantage of that to hide ingredients that aren't good for us. The idea behind this would be to try to find a company that we can trust to let us know what their products are fragranced with. What is it that is making their products smell that way, or that has a good reputation and we know is not going to do that. But again, we'll talk about that a little bit more before. So again, the problem with fragrance is that a lot of times they include things that we don't know what they are. And one of the things that are harmful that are sometimes hidden under the term fragrance is this word, which we look at and we're like, what is this? How do you even pronounce this? So I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on this word, but the way I've heard it be pronounced is phthalates. So we're going to go with that. But basically, this is just a group of chemicals that are used to soften and increase the flexibility of plastic and vinyl. Now, these are used to make not only, again, plastics flexible, but also as lubricants in cosmetics to make things smoother, to make things softer, to make things more blendable. And they're found in things like, this isn't like an all-inclusive list. This is just some things. Shampoo, air fresheners, laundry detergents are just some of the products that are known to contain this ingredient. And the problem with this ingredient is that it is known to cause a hormone imbalance. And this is not the only ingredient that falls under the umbrella of causing hormone imbalances. The last ingredient I wanted to share with you guys about is something called XENOESTROGENs. Now, XENOESTROGENs are just chemicals that are used in personal care products, again, and household products, that resemble our body's form of estrogen so much that our body mistakes it for estrogen, but it's not. And the problem is that it can worsen symptoms related to excess estrogen in the body. So things like PMS, PCOS, menopause symptoms, just to name a few. Problems that are linked to too much estrogen in your body, they will get worse, and they are worsened by this because your body thinks that it's even more estrogen that's coming into the body. So that's a lot to take in. And what are we going to do about all of this? You know, like it's very hard in this world to trust, because you find all these things out and you're kind of like, well, what am I supposed to do at this point? Well, the first thing is don't freak out. It's not the end of the world, I promise. A lot of times we think like, wow, this is hitting everywhere. That's it. Like, there's nothing I can do. You know, we're just doomed. But no, the beautiful thing is that there are companies that know that this is a problem, that want to be different, that want to create products that are useful, that are effective, that smell great, and that work great, but that aren't going to harm our health. So that being said, my number one tip is just to make the swap. Now, it can feel overwhelming, but I can tell you from experience that it's not. And the reason why it's not, I'm just going to exit out of the little presentation real quick so I can show you guys and stuff. There we go. So the reason why it's not is because there are companies that are now becoming very clear about the ingredients that they have and how they make their products and their quality of their products. And if anything comes up into their products that they didn't want, they will announce it. So we have these brands that are being much more open and therefore, you know, much easier to trust in knowing, you know, what are all these ingredients that are coming in. So to be 100% honest, I do use multiple brands because I have found through the years that, you know, there are quite a bit of brands that make products that don't include these ingredients. But the place that I started is with a brand called Young Living. And the reason why I started with this brand is because, one, it checked off all the boxes. Like, it didn't have any of these ingredients that I was worried about, and that I even was taught in my gut health coaching training that was not good for us, and to, you know, help my clients be able to avoid these as well. That was part of my training, was about products, which I thought was crazy because I thought it was just going to be about nutrition and whatnot. But there was doctors literally sitting there talking about our products and what we put in our toothpaste and our creams and our lotions. So the reason why I liked this brand is because it checked all of the boxes. It was a budget-friendly option because it was there's like a loyalty program where you can be able to sorry, I was just just got totally by the message. I totally distracted. But yeah, so they have a loyalty program. So, you know, as you buy products, you also get points back. And so then you can buy free products. And this is how I was able to slowly make these swaps. I do not recommend, unless you have like an insane budget, which I didn't, to like just throw away everything and, you know, want to start from zero. the best thing that I suggest, and what I suggest for my clients that haven't done this already, is just to start with whatever is running out. So if you start noticing that, oh, okay, my toothpaste is going to be the next thing to run out, okay, then your next purchase be a toothpaste. If you start noticing, hey, my house, my multi-purpose household cleaner is running out, okay, the next thing. And again, the reason why I loved this brand and why I still love this brand and still use it, and it's still the majority of the products that I use are from here, is because they make every single product that you could ever need to switch out. So lotions, creams, makeups, candles is a whole nother subject. But obviously you want your house to smell good. So they sell essential oils with diffusers that can also make your house smell good without these hidden chemicals that we breathe, that get on our skin, and that can affect our microbiome, our health, our hormones, all these things. So I'm just going to share some of the ones that I feel were pretty huge in me swapping out. So if you guys are thinking like, where should I start other than whatever is running out? Something else I recommend is starting with whatever you use multiple times a day or every single day. And for me, one of the biggest things is toothpaste. And so toothpaste is something that you use various times a day. It goes inside your mouth. And like I said, a lot of times it includes these ingredients that we don't like. So this is my favorite toothpaste. It not only is fluoride free, which is like a whole nother subject, but it includes fluoride is used with the idea that it strengthens your teeth. But this toothpaste, this specific one, the whitening one by Young Living, that's called Thieves Whitening. This specific one, the other ones, I noticed that they didn't have it, but this one does have another ingredient that is known even better and safer to strengthen our tooth enamel without having to use fluoride. So I really love this. It's happy for gut health and for also my breath and my white teeth. Something else that I recommend that we use multiple times a day is skincare. So this is like a toner, but I also have the cleanser and the cream, the face cream and all that stuff. But skincare is something we use morning and night. And that is notorious for containing the ingredients we just talked about. So that's a big switch that I like to talk about. Another big switch is something as women that we use daily is makeup. So switching makeup is a really great and easy way to slowly switch them out. And that's what I did. The first thing I ran out, I think, was like eyeliner. So I switched that, and then mascara. So I switched that. And then I think the last thing that I switched, was powder, because I ran out of the one before. So just as you run out of them, just instead of buying the same one you used to buy before, buy one that's a safer product without those ingredients. Another thing, especially for those of you who live with others in your family, especially if you have kids, a lot of these studies that were done on these ingredients, they've also done on kids. And it's really sad because they are probably the population that's most affected by these ingredients from before birth and growing up. And this can affect them so much in so many ways. Again, we could be here for like another hour just to talk about this. But the idea is that there's a very simple swap that you can make that will be great for the whole family. And that is laundry detergent. So again, speaking about fragrance, because we want our clothes to smell so good, the laundry detergent companies have fragranced our detergent so strongly that for it to last, 30 days of smell, that they include, unfortunately, these ingredients that we want to avoid. So switching to a cleaner laundry detergent that will still make your clothes smell good, but that won't have those harmful ingredients that you're constantly smelling, that's on your body and touching your skin, is a great swap. And the last one that I want to talk about is household cleaner. So again, speaking about gut health, we want to be very clean and we want to get rid of bad bacteria. But when it comes to things like bleach and like triclosan, which we talked about before, this really is not only decimating the bad bacteria, but also the good bacteria. And like in the case of bleach and other household cleaners, it is very harmful for our airway. So like breathing, and that's why you start coughing when you're in the bathroom and there's no windows and you're cleaning. And we want to disinfect the bathroom. We want to disinfect the kitchen. We want the house to be clean, to smell good, to smell clean, to feel clean. My mom is I grew up with like, if this feels like, not clean or it doesn't look clean, like things have to be super, super, super clean. And this is what we use now. And I convinced my mom to switch to this. This cleaner not only has essential oils that are known to kill bad bacteria, even like antibiotic resistant bacteria. It's very clean. It smells great. It's very effective, and it can be used as every single cleaner that you need. So I use this to mop my floors. I use this to wipe my mirrors, to clean mold in the bathroom. For every single kind of cleaning, even just like to wipe off surfaces, I use that for everything. And the great thing is it has, again, effective ingredients, but safe for you and your family. So the idea is, don't let the overwhelm affect you to the point where you don't want to make these switch. It really is super easy, especially with a company like Young Living, where literally you just get the box to your door. You can switch your order each month. And so that month when you're running out of toothpaste, you buy toothpaste. And next month when you're running out of detergent, you buy detergent. It makes it super easy. That's what I recommend first to start off is this brand, because it makes it so easy. But take a moment to think about the products that you use on a daily basis, where you're using them, and then how we've talked about today that they are connected to our overall health. It seems like something so simple, like so far off, like, I don't know, personally, nobody ever taught me about this before, that, something that I could be using to clean or something that I could be using on my face could have an impact on my internal health or my overall health. So having this in mind, make the switch slowly. Again, as you start running out, switch for something else. Look for the things that you use daily, focus on those, and switching those out slowly. And, this is a really great place to start. This is where I started with my gut health journey to improve, because I had gut health issues, I had hormone issues. And so this was a place that I started. This is a place that even the functional medicine doctor that I saw told me to start, to make sure that my products were free of these ingredients. And so I encourage you guys to do the same. Now, if you're struggling with gut health issues, let me get back to the screen here. And hormone issues. So you're probably here in this class either because you want to avoid having gut health issues and hormone issues, or because you already suffer from symptoms that are connected to gut health and hormone issues. So for me, this was the easiest place to start, was just swapping out my products, because it didn't take so much effort from my part. I just was like, okay, I'm going to buy this instead of this. But there's so many other things that affect our gut health and our hormone health. So things like nutrition, like sleep, all these things, daily lifestyle habits can also affect our gut health. So if you guys are looking to optimize your gut health and you're suffering through symptoms like, diarrhea, acne, fatigue, cravings, bloating, any autoimmune issue, any symptom that you have that's not headaches, migraines, literally anything on your skin, in your head, depression, anxiety, all of these are connected to our gut health. This is a great place to start, but it's not the only place. It's just the tip of the iceberg. So I am actually going to be hosting a masterclass talking about, actually, let me switch the slides because that'll make it so much easier. It's going to be called Finally Feel Good, how your gut health is linked to your symptoms and how to get rid of them. So you'll learn the role gut health plays on your symptoms, like cravings, again, headaches, constipation, bloating, diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety, depression, and more. Tips to improve your gut health so your symptoms can improve and you can finally feel good. So if you guys are interested in attending this masterclass, I'm going to put the link in the description of this video if you're watching the replay. And if you're not watching the replay, if you're here live now, I'll put it in the chat box, and I'll also be sharing it on my Instagram page, which I believe is in the next, so this is my Instagram page, melanie.muresan. I'll be sharing all the information there. It's a class that we're going to be talking about everything else that really moves the needle when it comes to gut health and hormone health and our symptoms. So that is it. I'm going to end the recording here.